confusing.
Oh my God.
It says the alleged father is not excluded as the biological father of the fetus. What does that mean?
What?
It says the alleged father is not excluded as the biological father of the fetus.
Let me you the father. Babe, that's me, you're the father.
Is not
You the father, nigga.
Oh, that's what that means?
You a weird ass nigga. What? You don't want it to... You don't want it to be a...
I'm saying,
so
are you sure?
weird.
You didn't even read the paper.
You call me dumb, but you the slow one.
It says the alleged father is not... Why they write it like this, though? They could have just been like, more player.
Yeah, but they... Are you confident? Because you still don't understand.
I think I get it, not excluded.
You're not excluded, meaning you the father.
The internet woke up today, took one look at the madness between Karlissa and Chrisean, and collectively said, nope. This ain't normal drama. This is premium season finale energy. Because the moment Jai's DNA test entered the chat, it didn't just spark drama, it detonated the kind of meltdown that makes the Kardashians look like they're arguing about who stole the last avocado. This wasn't a live. This was a digital demolition derby with emotions, insults, and motherly chaos flying around like debris in a tornado made of trauma. And let me tell you, the meltdown was so dramatic every therapist in America probably paused their sessions like, wait, I need to analyze this. Karlissa came in like she was auditioning for Judge Judy Meets Zeus Network, snatching DNA vibes from the universe, while Chrisean reacted like someone unplugged her Wi-Fi mid-livestream. The energy was explosive, unhinged, and somehow still wildly entertaining. This wasn't family beef. This was a public circus featuring two headliners swinging giant emotional sledgehammers at each other. Because when Jai's DNA test became the weapon of choice, both of them lost every ounce of chill they had left. And trust me, this was only the beginning. The internet hadn't even started screaming yet. The chaos didn't start with the DNA test, nope. This insanity had been brewing like a pot of unattended chai on high heat, rattling, boiling, and threatening to explode long before anyone clicked go live. Everyone knew Karlissa and Chrisean had beef. But the moment Junior entered the storyline, the temperature jumped from petty arguments to nuclear warfare. Karlissa had been dropping hints for weeks, throwing suspicious glances, cryptic posts, and those classic I know something y'all don't know rants. So when whispers about a secret DNA test surfaced, it wasn't shocking. What shocked everyone was just how far she was willing to go to get it behind the scenes. Fans were already detecting static in the air, like someone was rubbing a balloon against the internet waiting for sparks. Chrisean had been posting cryptic messages too, acting like everything was peachy until boom, the rumor hit that Karlissa had somehow acquired Jai's DNA. People started asking, how? When? Why? Who allowed this woman anywhere near a Q-tip? Meanwhile, Karlissa was walking around digital streets like she had the infinity stones of family secrets, ready to snap half the fanbase into disbelief. This wasn't just drama brewing, it was a scandal aging like fine chaos. Social media detectives wasted zero time pulling out their imaginary badges and magnifying glasses. They were analyzing every screenshot, every eyebrow raise, every side comment. And of course, because the internet is allergic to subtlety, theories spread faster than a meme of Blueface looking confused. Some swore Chrisean had been hiding something. Others claimed Karlissa was fabricating a storyline for attention. But everyone agreed on one thing. Whatever happened next was going to be wild enough to need popcorn, headphones, and a sturdy emotional seatbelt. Then came the leak, because of course there had to be a leak. Nothing in this universe stays private, especially not in a family hotter than trending hashtags. A mysterious DM started circulating claiming Karlissa had taken matters into her own hands, literally and figuratively. According to the message, she orchestrated a plan to get Jai's DNA without permission, and fans reacted like they just saw someone try to open the airplane door mid-flight. Some were horrified, some were thrilled, and some were like, yep. This feels exactly like something that would happen on a Tuesday in this family. When Chrisean caught wind of it, you could practically hear the emotional earthquake forming from across the internet. It wasn't anger, it was volcanic fury mixed with confusion, hurt, and the pure kind of chaos only she can deliver. She didn't schedule a press conference. She didn't draft a statement. She went live immediately, instantly, without breathing, without thinking. She smashed that go live button harder than Blueface dodges accountability. The internet sprinted into the chat like it was Black Friday and chaos was on sale. Her reaction wasn't mild. It wasn't calm. It wasn't even regular Chrisean level heated. It was the kind of meltdown that makes reality TV producers start taking notes for new show concepts. She paced back and forth, ranting so intensely it felt like the phone was shaking from the sheer force of her emotions. Her voice cracked, her energy spiked, and every sentence felt like she was throwing invisible chairs at the air. She kept repeating that no one, absolutely no one, had the right to touch Junior, his DNA, or anything connected to him. And people in the comments were like, oh yeah, she's about to flip this entire timeline upside down. Meanwhile, Karlissa wasn't hiding in the shadows. Oh no. She hopped online too, acting like she had merely returned library books instead of setting fire to the internet. She started calmly explaining herself with that signature on the mother I know everything, don't test me energy. She insisted she was doing what any responsible grandmother would do. The internet nearly choked. People were quoting her lines like they were auditioning for a comedy special. Some cheered her on like she was fighting for justice. Others begged her to sit down before she triggered another global incident. Once both lives were happening within the same hour, the digital streets turned into a virtual WWE ring. Fans were bouncing between streams like they were watching a tennis match at 3x speed. Comment sections were overflowing with reactions, laughing emojis, shocked emojis, angry emojis, and those confused emoji faces that perfectly captured the collective vibe. The replay numbers were climbing so fast they looked like cryptocurrency charts before a crash. Meanwhile, both women were doubling down harder than gamblers who swear the next hand is their miracle. And as if things weren't explosive enough, screenshots from earlier conversations started resurfacing. Old messages, spicy DMs, shady captions, every ounce of tension that had ever existed between Chrisean and Karlissa suddenly mattered again. Fans pointed out how this drama wasn't random at all. It was the final punchline to a story that's been wild since day one. People were stitching old clips, making montages, and editing chaotic music under past arguments like they were creating trailers for the family's downfall. Despite the internet's chaos, one thing stood out clearly. This wasn't about a DNA test anymore. This was about trust, control, power, and the deeply complicated, unbelievably messy relationship between these two women who can go from zero to hurricane force winds faster than a Twitter argument. The tension was thick enough to spread on toast. The accusations were flying like insects during monsoon season, and every new word from either side felt like a fresh punch to a never-ending storyline. Chrisean's face during the live said everything. You didn't need subtitles, captions, or context. Her emotions were so loud the mute button couldn't stop them. She felt betrayed, targeted, disrespected, and cornered. Every time she mentioned Junior, her tone sharpened like she was cutting through invisible ropes. She kept repeating how nobody would ever violate her child, and fans felt that. Even those who didn't agree with her found themselves nodding just because her conviction hit like a brick. Karlissa, on the other hand, was leaning fully into her role as the unpredictable matriarch with more shock value than a season of Love and hip-hop. She insisted she had done nothing wrong, painting herself as the misunderstood truth seeker who just wanted answers. She played innocent, calm, and collected like she wasn't pouring gasoline on an already blazing situation. Every time she repeated her version of the story, comments flew in begging her to stop before things spiraled even further. By the end of the first hour, viewers were exhausted, emotionally drained, and somehow still begging for more. Because one thing was clear, the fuse had been lit, the fireworks were exploding, And this family feud had just entered a new level of outrageous chaos the internet had been starving for. The internet treated it like a global emergency. News pages, fan pages, meme pages, everybody turned into full-time analysts overnight. Twitter looked like a stock market crash of emotions, with people firing off hot takes like they were competing in the Olympics of messy commentary. The hashtags alone formed their own battlefield. Hashtag DNA War, hashtag Karlissa Chaos, hashtag Chrisean Meltdown, and the iconic hashtag JR Drama trending in minutes. People weren't just tuned in, they were locked in like they were watching the last episode of a billion-dollar Netflix series. Celebrities started chiming in because, of course, Hollywood cannot resist chaos that isn't theirs. Rappers were posting cryptic tweets like they were allergic to minding their business. Reality TV stars responded with popcorn emojis like they were sitting front row at a digital boxing match. Even verified accounts who hadn't tweeted in months crawled out of retirement to say, "What in the Zeus network is going on over there?" The way the internet united in collective confusion was so intense. It felt like everyone got a notification titled Emergency Family Drama, Click Now. Meanwhile, TikTok users went feral. They started reenacting Chrisean's live with bad wigs, plastic babies, dollar store microphones, and dramatic reenactment energy worthy of an Oscar. Some creators were mimicking Karlissa's calm but chaotic tone so perfectly that fans thought she had secretly joined the trend. Others were stitching clips of her with intense sound effects, thunder booms, dramatic violins, explosions, turning the situation into a full-blown cinematic universe. It wasn't just drama anymore. It was content, culture, and entertainment fused into one big flaming disaster. YouTube commentators weren't left behind either. They rushed to upload videos titled "The Truth About Jaya's DNA," "Karlissa Gone Too Far," and Chrisean's Breakdown Explained. Views were skyrocketing so fast you'd think Elon Musk added turbo mode to the algorithm. People were hosting 3-hour live streams analyzing every blink, breath, and eyebrow raise. Some creators went as far as pulling out whiteboards, making family trees, and mapping out timelines like detectives solving cold cases. At this point, the internet wasn't watching drama, they were solving it. Behind the scenes, the beef between Karlissa and Chrisean intensified like someone poured gasoline into a blender. Every time one went live, the other answered like it was a battle of digital duelists. Chrisean spoke with raw emotion, pacing like a storm cloud ready to burst, her energy radiating through the screen. Karlissa, on the other hand, remained eerily calm, dropping lines so shady they could block the sun. The contrast made it worse. Chrisean was fire, Karlissa was gasoline, and the internet was the wine pushing everything into a blazing inferno. Then the IG story posts dropped, and that's when the real explosion hit. Chrisean uploaded vague messages that were full of emotion, but not a single ounce of diplomacy. Things like "don't play with my kid," "people weird," and "God sees everything." The classic cryptic trilogy of online war. Fans were decoding them like ancient hieroglyphics, convinced each post contained hidden clues. Meanwhile, Karlissa uploaded her own content, speaking in riddles and confidence like she was narrating a thriller audiobook called "I Know Something You Don't." But it didn't stop there, oh no. Audio leaks started surfacing. Alleged screenshots, old text messages, forgotten voice notes. Fans were dropping receipts like they were Black Friday coupons. Some of the leaks were real. Some were hilariously fake. All were equally dramatic. One screenshot had people screaming, "This can't be real," while another had everyone doing deep dives on timestamps. It got so intense that even people who didn't care about the situation at all started pretending they were experts just to join the chaos. As the drama escalated, the memes got even better. Twitter was flooded with photoshopped images of Karlissa wearing a detective hat, holding a swab kit like she was about to launch a new CSI spin-off. Chrisean's reaction faces were turned into GIFs in under 5 seconds. Even Junior, who was minding his tiny baby business, ended up in memes like "Bro woke up and his DNA is trending." The internet has no mercy. They will put anyone in the spotlight, even if they haven't mastered the ability to crawl yet. Soon, even bigger influencers weighed in. People with millions of followers started taking sides not because they cared, but because the engagement numbers were too irresistible. Some defended Chrisean fiercely, saying the mother has every right to protect her child. Others praised Karlissa for seeking the truth like she just cracked a secret government code. And a few rare voices tried to play peacemaker, but their comments were ignored faster than terms and conditions pop-ups. The turning point came when both lives overlapped again. You could practically feel the energy through the screen. Chrisean, looking like she was ready to flip a table through the front camera, began calling out the disrespect with full force. She spoke about boundaries, betrayal, and how motherhood wasn't something anyone should play games with. Every word felt like an emotional punch. People commented things like she's fed up, this is triggering, and somebody take the phone away before she levitates. Karlissa, meanwhile, delivered her responses with that infamous calm tone that somehow made the situation feel even more chaotic. She insisted she wasn't attacking anyone, she was simply looking out for the truth. The way she said it made the internet pause like, is she serious or trolling? She doubled down on her version of events and kept mentioning things like concern, family history, and wanting transparency, phrases that sound soft but hit hard when delivered with that signature Karlissa energy. The escalation reached a peak when rumors started circulating that Karlissa had actually planned the DNA move days in advance. Some claimed she spoke to friends about feeling suspicious. Others said she had been gathering information behind closed doors. Whether true or false, the allegations gave the internet exactly what it wanted: another twist so messy it tasted like drama-flavored ice cream. People were making timelines, flowcharts, even conspiracy boards trying to figure out what was real. And then, out of nowhere, someone dug up an old interview clip of Chrisean talking about trust issues. It began circulating with captions like "this aged too well." The clip went viral instantly, turning the situation into a Greek tragedy mixed with a Zeus Network special. Fans who were previously neutral chose sides like they were selecting teams in a dodgeball match. The comments turned into digital battlegrounds, each reply section more chaotic than the last. The situation didn't just escalate, it spiraled. It mutated. It became bigger than anyone involved. Social media thrives on drama, but this was different. This wasn't casual gossip. This was a full-scale digital hurricane ripping through timelines and For You pages. No matter where you scrolled, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, you couldn't escape it. The drama spread faster than spoilers for a Marvel movie, and just when the internet thought things couldn't become more unhinged. One more twist hit the timeline, a twist so wild it made fans clutch their imaginary pearls and refresh their screens like their lives depended on it. By the time the dust settled from the second wave of chaos, the internet felt like it had just survived a natural disaster powered entirely by drama, dysfunction, and a pack of emotional Red Bulls. Everyone was exhausted, overstimulated, and still somehow begging for more. But the aftermath didn't wait to hit immediately. The live sessions ended, but the consequences only began. And every ripple that followed made the situation feel even more like a season finale mixed with a courtroom documentary and a Zeus Network brawl rolled into one. Chrisean disappeared for a few hours after her explosive live, which of course only made the internet start spiraling. People were posting theories like she had gone into hiding, preparing a statement, or planning to pull up on Karlissa personally. Her silence became a trending topic. And when she finally returned, she came back with a tone that was quieter but sharper. Like she wasn't yelling anymore, she was speaking with the type of calm that makes people nervous. She emphasized boundaries, respect, and protecting her child. And while she didn't scream this time, the intensity behind every word felt like a blade dipped in emotion. Karlissa, meanwhile, kept posting throughout the day like she had just won a prize for Most Unbothered Chaos Creator of the Year. She doubled down on every claim, insisting she did nothing wrong and would do it again if she felt the need. To her, she wasn't escalating drama, she was standing on truth. But the more she spoke, the more divided the internet became. Some praised her confidence. Others accused her of crossing lines that should never be crossed. especially with a baby involved. The split was so intense it felt like the fanbase had formed political parties. Then came the fallout from Blueface's side of the internet. Fans began demanding his response, tagging him nonstop like unpaid interns trying to drag him into the storyline. They wanted clarity, a statement, a comment, anything, but Blueface stayed silent longer than expected, which only intensified the intrigue. People started making jokes like, he's probably hiding under a bed, or he turned his phone off the moment he saw all that trending chaos. The silence felt strategic, but also extremely suspicious. Eventually, Blueface broke the silence with a cryptic post so vague it only fueled the flames. He wrote something like, "The truth always comes out," which sounded wise until people realized it also sounded like the tagline of a messy reality show. Fans immediately started arguing about whether he was siding with his mom or subtly supporting Chrisean. Every word, every emoji, every punctuation mark was overanalyzed like people were trying to decipher ancient runes. His post didn't calm anything, it made it worse, sparking arguments across every platform imaginable. The public perception of both women began shifting like a broken compass in a tornado. Some people empathized deeply with Chrisean, saying any mother would lash out if someone touched their child without permission. Others believed Karlissa's suspicions came from genuine concern, not malice. And then there was a third group, those who didn't care who was right or wrong, because they were simply enjoying the entertainment value like it was a free streaming service. The debate became so chaotic people forgot what the original issue was. Meanwhile, comment sections everywhere turned into emotional war zones. People were fighting with strangers they'd never met, defending mothers they'd never talked to, and arguing about DNA tests like they were biology experts. Entire friendships were ending over which side someone supported. The drama grew legs, arms, wings, mutating into its own creature. It wasn't just a family issue anymore. It had become a global online event that united people through chaos and divided them through opinions. The deeper consequence came when influencers began discussing the long-term impact on Junior even though he's just a baby. Junior even though he's just a baby. The internet kept reminding everyone that these digital battles live forever. Clips don't disappear. Lives don't get deleted. Screenshots don't fade. People raised concerns about how this public feud might affect him in the future. Some hoped the women would resolve things privately for his sake. Others shrugged and said, these people don't do private. Chrisean's next live showed a different version of her, emotionally drained but determined. She talked about trust, mother instinct, and feeling betrayed. Her voice wasn't shaky, it was firm. She declared she wouldn't allow anyone, not even family, to cross certain boundaries again. The internet took this as a sign that she was entering her protective mama era, and while some agreed, others joked that this was just the warm-up before the next explosion. Karlissa held her ground too, delivering speeches with her signature confidence and zero regret. She continued insisting she was right, that she wanted transparency, and that she believed the truth would bring peace, not chaos. But every time she tried to calmly explain, her tone came off like she was dropping shade wrapped in motherly wisdom. And the internet, of course, clipped every second and turned it into comedy gold. The aftermath even hit family members who weren't involved. Cousins, siblings, aunties, anyone with a loose connection found their comment sections flooded with questions. What's really going on? Was the DNA test real? Who's lying? People were swarming every relative like paparazzi outside a scandalous courtroom. Even unrelated family members were blocking fans because nobody wanted to be dragged into this boiling pot of generational chaos. As days passed, news stories and theories popped up every hour. But one thing was clear, the situation left deep cracks in relationships that were already fragile. Trust was shattered, lines were crossed, and the internet wasn't going to forget any of it. This wasn't a small misunderstanding, it was a full-blown public explosion that would echo for months. The women didn't just have a disagreement. They escalated into a digital civil war with millions of spectators watching the fallout. What made the aftermath even more dramatic was the eerie calm that followed. both women slowed down their posting, choosing silence over screenshots. And that silence had the internet panicking, refreshing pages, waiting for the next blow. When chaos stops suddenly, it doesn't feel peaceful, it feels like the moment before another storm. Influencers began predicting a part 2, fans prepared their popcorn again. And meme pages kept posting to be continued. Graphics like this was a mid-season break. Because deep down, everyone knew this wasn't over. Not even close. The trust was damaged, the internet was invested, and the DNA test had become a ghost hovering over every future interaction. The only question was whether the next explosion would be bigger or nuclear. And if you're still here after all this chaos, congratulations, you officially survived one of the wildest digital earthquakes the internet has seen all year. You deserve a trophy, a snack, and maybe a therapist after witnessing Karlissa and Chrisean turn Jai's DNA test into a full-blown cinematic universe. But don't go anywhere yet, because you already know how this goes in this world. The drama doesn't end, it just reloads with a stronger Wi-Fi connection and louder notifications. And trust me, the next chapter is already warming up backstage. So before the next meltdown drops, smash that like button like it owes you child support. Throw a comment down below telling me whose side you're on. Or if you're like most of the internet, just here for the popcorn and chaos. And of course, hit that subscribe button with the same energy Karlissa brings to a live when she's about to expose someone. Because around here, scandals don't sleep. Mess doesn't rest, and the tea is always hotter than a frying pan in July. Turn on those post notifications so you don't miss a single twist. Because if this family taught us anything today, it's that drama can erupt at any moment, without warning, without mercy, and definitely without permission. This is the only place where we break it down with sarcasm, exaggeration, and enough attitude to make Zeus Network look family-friendly. So buckle up, you're riding shotgun in the chaos car now. This is your daily reminder that the internet never forgets, receipts never expire, and the truth always comes back like a messy sequel. Until the next explosion hits your screen. Welcome to Fame Fluzz, where the scandals stay loud, the storytelling stays wild, and the drama never sleeps. Never sleeps.